Well, it was a long, hard struggle for the human race. After wars and and striving to understand the world through art and sciences, they finally reach up to the stars and meet in contact with other races and able to share their knowledge with them and hope to better, themselves or both of themselves. And the aliens laugh. This is the premise of Paul Anderson's anthology stories of all encompassed in his book, The Gods Laughed. I noticed this book on my mother's shelf years ago, and I always found this very curious, and I finally found one in a used bookstore. The premise of this book is, as I showed, the series of stories that the whole idea is that it counteracts the hubris that humans have, how great they think of themselves, but encountering these other alien races, they are not as clever as they think they are. Now, and I think this is a good premise because so much in science fiction, humans are usually the center of everything. You see Star Trek, Babylon 5, and Star Wars, and all that stuff. They are the center. They're the ones that get everybody out. But not in these stories. These stories are related in the fact that, to some degree or another, humans find out the humility and how insignificant it can be to some degree. These are about 10 short stories here. I'll give you one premise. The Martyr. Some military scientists come out, capture a group of aliens that they've contacted for a long time. They notice they have great psychic abilities that allow them to travel the cosmos and all that. And they want to know that secret. They want them to teach them how to do this. But every time they tried, the aliens have always found a way to circumvent everything and evade and not give them this knowledge. They give them other knowledge, but not the psychic abilities they crave to do. So they finally capture some and interrogate them and experiment with them and see what does it. And of course, the result on why is the climax of the story. I have to admit, the second story, Night Piece, a bit more on the surreal side. Hard for me to recollect it. I think some guy has been trying to counteract this being within itself. When half gods go, couple aliens come by and promising the governments of Earth, with all this, to bring in these new technologies and such, to them to advance the race and everything, if they let them. The governments did not buy into it. In fact, they even made them criminals on the run. So their last bastion of hope is to try to contact these scientists and see, find out what makes them different and why they should help them out. And then Peak ICU, a rather humorous story of a pilot that during his flight he come across a secluded area where there's a flying saucer, and then he makes a landing near a Pueblo village near this saucer where the people who live there, the natives, Native Americans living there, they kind of keep the saucers hush-hush, and and they're trying to. And the thing is, it's sort of about the Galactic Empire, which the human race might might come up to join them if they're worthy of it. Details. That's a story about aliens, disguised as humans, trying to manipulate events to help better mankind. Through World War I and World War II and things, and it goes so great. Captive of the Centaurianus, that's the longest story in this book. A former engineer who's down on his luck after his $1 million inheritance is on the run, and he teams up with two aliens, a huge, strong warrior alien Amazoness. Sorry, bad word there, an Amazon. It was a warrior woman and a mathematician who's also an evolved octopus. These three team up against the Jovian military, one of Jupiter's moons, I believe, and they're getting ready to attack the Earth, and they're using the mathematician to give them the technology they want, but they don't. In fact, they team up together, go to and make an army of another planet to counteract these guys to save the Earth. Let's see. Soldier from the Stars is another story. The Word of Space. A Soldier from the Stars. That's a story where a mercenary alien race comes by and is going to sell their services to the highest bidder, and which just after the bid, World War starts, and they come by and help them, and over the years you see what happens with this alien race as they come in more and more involved into the the affairs of the planet. The word of space, where humans have been receiving these messages from another planet, and and some of the effects they have on humans is the fact that some of these words turn into a new section of religion. And there's it's just a discussion between two men about what they are to do to keep this from breaking religions further or what have you. Let's see, and then a little knowledge. That one, it's just funny. I just read that. Yes, a little knowledge. A group of men is trapped on another planet. Captures a member of a race who has his own freighter. This race is not hostile at any time. They're very peaceful and everything, and they're trying to do this very criminal act amongst involving trying to contact their own people, but things don't turn well on that. But again, through most of the degrees, it's about humans kind of get their hubris knocked from them when they think they're as clever as they could be, but then they showed how they're not through various means. And some of them are more so than others. So there you go. You like classic science fiction stories from the 50s and 60s. Paul Anderson, who is one of the grand masters of the golden age of science fiction, give this a go. Hey, can't go wrong with the classics, right? I mean, we're trying to advertise El Spray to camp and to some effect. Thank you all for watching, and you have a nice day.